What is happening, YouTube Nation? How you doing? My name is Adam and welcome to A Duda Reviews. This time we're going to be doing another Rick and Morty review. This time it's season 4, episode 4, entitled Claw and Hoarder Special Rick Tim's Morty. So without further ado, let's do it. So the episode begins mid-adventure. Rick and Morty are running, trying to escape some sort of lasers and shit that's being fired at them. They get to the spaceship, and they're also accompanied by this weird, like, alien cat thing named Chachi. They get into the spaceship, and it turns out they were after this cube. So Morty hands over this cube to Rick that they were looking for. Don't know what it does, it's just part of their adventure. Chachi gets hilariously killed by getting shot through the head and his eyeballs splatter everywhere. It's quite funny to watch. So it turns out the only reason Morty is actually doing this mission with Rick is because Rick has promised him to get him a dragon. Because he's kind of nerdy like that and he likes his Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So yeah, Rick is sort of not keen on the idea because he hates magic and he hates all that kind of shit. So basically, he tries to get out of it by sort of knocking Morty out by letting off this gas in the spaceship, but it ends up knocking himself out and they crash. And then when he comes to, Beth is standing over him saying, hope you're okay and everything. By the way, you do remember promising Morty a dragon. And he's like, oh shit, I've got to fucking get him this dragon now. So Rick makes good on his promise and gets Morty this dragon, this big massive dragon called Balframar the dragon, and he is voiced by Liam Cunningham, who's in Game of Thrones. I forget the name of his character, but I'll put it up on the screen. So in a sort of random side story, Jerry comes down the stairs and he says, okay, what's the prank? Why is my cat talking to me? And Rick has nothing to do with this and he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So Jerry goes back upstairs and starts talking to this cat, and the cat persuades him to take him to Florida, where he just wants to have a party and let his hair down kind of thing. So Morty's flying around on this dragon. He's absolutely loving it. He's having a great time. But the dragon, however, thinks it's shit. He's really not enjoying it. He's got this stupid kid on his back. All he wants to do is sit on his hoard of jewels and special shit that he's gathered over the years and just sit there and wait for humanity to die out, basically. So it doesn't take long for Rick to get really pissed off with the fact that this dragon's living in the house. So he goes down to the dragon's lair and basically tries to get rid of him by sticking this time bomb in his stomach, basically. But he gets talking to the dragon and starts to actually think the dragon's actually pretty cool because he notices the dragon's hoarding some really cool stuff that he really likes. So they basically go on this big bender and just like get fucked up. They drink loads, they smoke loads, and they just go to a zoo and start blowing like cannabis smoke and shit all over the elephants and things, and just basically getting really fucked up and having a really good time. This culminates with the dragon and Rick soul bonding, and at that point sort of like a light emanates from this dragon's chest and same as Rick, and they sort of like bond together. But it's really disgusting and sexual, but they're really sort of getting off on it, and it's really gross to watch. And he's sort of like moaning with ecstasy kind of thing. And then Morty comes along with Summer, and they both witness it, and they're just like, oh my god, this is fucking disgusting. Which it is. So Morty's pretty pissed off that Rick has soul bonded with this dragon and tears up the contract that he originally made. Once he tears the contract up, this wizard appears and is like, how come you tore up the contract with the dragon? And Morty's like, well, he's soul bonded with Rick. This really pisses off the wizards and like, you shouldn't do that, no way. And then he brings out this whip and starts whipping the dragon, calling him a slut. It's like, you dirty slut dragon and shit like that, and it gets really fucking weird and kinky. So this wizard basically takes the dragon away, whipping him the whole time, calling him a slut. And Rick and Morty both decide that they have to get the dragon back because Rick is now soul bonded with the dragon. If the dragon dies, so does Rick. So they go on in search of the dragon, and the dragon is in this sort of mystical magic world where science doesn't work, and this really pisses Rick off because he hates magic. So then we go back to the weird situation with Jerry and the cat in Florida. They're having this like party with all these like young folk that like sort of like a spring break thing in Florida, and Jerry ends up getting thrown out for being too square, and eventually so does the cat. Cat is voiced by Matthew Broderick, by the way. So then we go back to the dragon world, and where Rick and Morty and Summer team up with some more slut dragons, and they're actually called slut dragons in this because they're just basically really slutty, and like they like to do really disgusting stuff like shit on each other and things like that. So these dragons combine, having this like 10 dragon orgy, and they combine and turn into this one big powerful phoenix dragon type thing, and they use that dragon to defeat the evil wizard who's whipping the other dragon, calling him a slut. So they eventually save the dragon and save the day, and everything's cool. Rick and Morty and Summer go back to their home and just like try and chill out after the big adventure, but they're followed by Balthamar the dragon, who really wants to hang out with Morty now, or Rick. He doesn't really care, he just wants to get his slut on and do some slutty stuff. Basically, Morty and Rick both feel disgusted by the whole thing and just like, look, fuck off dragon, you're really gross, just go and do your weird kinky shit elsewhere. So then we go back to Jerry and the cat, who is now picked up by Rick. Rick picks them up, and they stop to refuel, and while they're refueling, Rick scans the cat's brain, and he looks at the cat's brain through this sort of visor goggles thing, and what he sees really horrifies him. He's just like, oh my fucking god, this is crazy, this is disgusting, this is the worst thing in the world. And then Jerry wants to see, so he has a look, and then he's crying and he's in the fetal position going, oh my god, what is this fucking cat? And Rick nearly fucking shoots himself in the face. It's so fucking bad, whatever's it. We never find out what's in the cat's brain, but whatever it is, it's pretty bad. And he wipes Jerry's mind, so he forgets about it totally. But I think we may be seeing this cat again. I've got a feeling, because something weird. He said something about the season finale or something during this when he was talking about the cat. So I think we may be seeing this cat again, and I think he may have some sort of crazy evil scheme up his cat sleeve. But yeah, so that was the end of that episode. It was a fucking weird episode. It was funny in certain parts when it got to the whole dragon slut thing. It just couldn't help but laugh at how absurd it was. But it was fucking funny, and it was better than the last episode. Overall, I still prefer the first episode of this season so far. That was the funniest for me, but this is the close second because it was fucking just stupid. So overall, I would give this episode a B. In the final scene, there's a scene at the end of the credits where the cat meets the dragon, and the dragon's like, do you want to do a little bit of soul bonding because he's a slut? And the cat's just like, yeah, sure, why not? Can you take me to Florida? So maybe we'll see them again, I'm not sure, but yeah. Well, that's it. That's the end of Season 4, Episode 4 review. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please think about liking and subscribing and all that jazz. Next week will be my final one in the series because there's only 5 episodes this season, and it will pick up next year, whenever that is. I'm not 100% sure. But thank you very much for watching. Love ya. Goodbye. Mwah.